All right, guys, welcome back to OGN. I'm Joe, that's Monte Cristo, of course, because we're here, but also because we're going into game 2 between Blaze versus Bullets. Probably my best intro ever right there. I'm pretty sure. But, so Bullets up a game right now, and it looked it was maybe not the cleanest game we've ever seen in Korea.
The game was terrible. That game was terrible.
There it is.
I was gonna call it
a bad game.
I was just gonna call it like it was. It was very sloppy from both sides. We didn't really see either team use their composition to its fullest potential. The team fight positioning was generally lackluster. The decision making about fighting for objectives was suspect. Just not the highest quality game of League of Legends that we've ever seen, Noah. But
That's true.
You know, the Bullets have had a really tough week.
They have. I mean, they're tired. No doubt about that. Losing the finals, then coming in and having a hard time yesterday, losing against Frost, to now coming in today to play against Blaze. That's going to take a lot out of you.
That's right. And remember, this is now, their 10th game of League of Legends in the past 5 days?
Yeah.
So we're really, they're starting to burn out a little bit. And they have the prospect of playing, 14 more, including this one.
Yeah.
So
if they can do it, it will be one of the greatest feats in League of Legends history.
Absolutely.
It's going to be pretty amazing. Well, here we go, guys. Picks and bans for game number 2, Blaze versus Bullets. Monte Cristo will probably never have a job as an international diplomat, but it's okay. I can picture you're sitting at the table. Your country's stupid. What? It's like, well, you just do dumb things. Well, you can't say that. It's like, I'm sorry. So it's okay.
Well, Joe,
I'll be there to smooth it over.
Thank
it's fine.
Thank you very much.
I'll be like,
that's why we're so good together.
I'll be like, don't worry. In our culture, it's a compliment. Then everything will be fine.
Well, it's just these teams are so good, and we have such high expectations out of their play that to see a game that sloppy is really surprising.
Weird. Yeah, it's a bit strange. And not the norm.
Blaze has had a lot of time to prepare for this match too. They did get eliminated quite early in the quarterfinals by the Bullets, and then they got eliminated early in NLB as well by Swords. So they've had a lot of downtime, a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, that's really the most shocking thing, is to see how much time they continuously have to change things up, and then they don't really do that much. I mean, Lee Sin's a great pick for many, many different compositions, so we can't really read a lot into that. But Thresh and Ari picked up for KT Bullets.
Well,
interesting.
Yeah, Ryu not the best Ari player in Korea. I'd say he's pretty mediocre on the champion, but he did have some nice plays in that last game.
He looks so tired.
He always
Look at that guy.
Always looks
He's like,
so depressed.
I guess I'll get Deathfire Grasp and kill the supports again.
But they are going to pick up Lee Sin there for Helios, one of his better champions. We saw him using that a lot back in Champion Spring. And to look at the picks and bans as well, you don't want Kakao to have Elise, so they're going to probably put Kakao onto Jarvan with the pick composition that I anticipate we'll see from the KT Bullets. And again, we see Italy, Jax bans, those champions that are great with Trinity Force, and Flame, one of the best Italy players here in Korea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Was known far and wide as a very good Italy player even before he appeared on the pro scene too. And I believe it was down in Busan last year that we saw him play on Italy, and one of his first outings was CJ Blaze at the Champions Winter Openers. And there's the Caitlyn and Gragas pickups for CJ.
Very interesting. Now, we didn't see the Gragas-Caitlyn combo in the finals of Champions Summer because it was banned frequently by the KT Bullets, but anything with that Fiddlesticks that has that poke potential is there to shut down turrets quickly. Now, we may see the Nami Caitlyn lane come out here. Lust Boy, a very good Nami player, and since they banned the Fiddlesticks themselves...
Yeah. Well, Lust Boy also a classic Lulu player, but maybe just kind of like showing it there for the fans. But I don't know. Lulu's a great champion. It's my favorite champion in the game. I will never complain to see a Lulu, but I wonder a little bit about this Lulu in this composition.
Yeah, it's really not optimal because Lulu is best in a 5v5 team fighting situation because of her ult, Wild Growth. But we don't really... the other supports are just more versatile. Like, we look at Thresh, he's got great peel, good pick potential. Lulu shines in team fights, and you don't really want a support that's as one-dimensional as Lulu anymore. But
I was going to say Kennen.
Locked in,
I was actually just about to say she would go well with Kennen, which is one of Flame's best champions. And while Kennen isn't a primary engaged champion in team fights, we've talked about this before, with Lulu wild growthing him after he goes in, he suddenly becomes much more viable as a primary engage in a team fight, I think.
Well, in this case, too, what we're going to see here is they want that Lulu not really for ult, but because she's a lane bully and they can really harass hard, I think this is a reaction to Hermes and Lustboy losing lane quite badly last game, that they want to make sure that they have as many tools as possible to be aggressive in lane and to win those trades. And Lulu definitely allows you to do that.
Well, she's got that aggression, but she's also got, all the utility as well to be defensive. And there's a Renekton picked up for Insec. Renekton.
Well, it looks like this game, they've read CJ Blaze correctly in that Blaze wants to go for, of course they're going to be split pushing. So what we're seeing them pick up here, Renekton, he's a lane bully champion. He's not the best champion in terms of team fighting ability, especially against a Kennen who's just going to stun him.
Yeah.
But in a split push situation, when you're creating these picks, when you want to kill somebody in a 1v1, especially early, Renekton is a very solid choice.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it works out. There's our rosters for each side. I don't think I have time to read through them anymore, so I just won't. You can see it. You can read them right on your screen there. Happy to see Lulu make an appearance. Lustboy's Lulu was, in the past, pretty legendary in Korea.
Absolutely, and legendary all over the world, too, because of how many foreign tournaments Blaze attended.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, here we go. Game number 2, loading up. Will we see CJ Blaze tie things up, or will KTB take a 2-0 lead and put themselves one game away from moving on to the next match tomorrow? It's about time to get in the game. Find out. All right, guys, here we go. Set 2, CJ Blaze versus KT Bullets. Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And look at this, actually. Helios starting with that Doran's Blade in the jungle. We did see that about halfway through Champion Summer, but it died off.
Yeah, it was pretty popular for like a week or so.
Yeah, it was very popular. We saw all the teams doing it for a very short period of time. It does give you that really nice early aggressive edge, but it locks you somewhat into that slower jungling pace. It's just not as versatile an item, of course, as that machete.
Yeah.
So you take a risk by taking it. An Insect going to back off right there as well. Under the circumstances, Doa, this is the first time we've seen Insect play Renekton. KT Bullet's used to playing with a Renekton because of Someday, that being his champion of choice, generally speaking.
And also a pretty good Renekton player, too, so I'm sure Insect had a lot he could learn from him.
So, but this is, KT Bullets are very adaptive and very smart. And I like this decision a lot because by saving that pick for last, in that pick and ban phase, when they saw what CJ Blaze was doing, and I actually think the Lulu pick triggered this because that was the tell with the rest of their comp that CJ Blaze was going for total lane domination here. And so they realized that if they picked Renekton and Insect got a lead early, that he would be able to always out-split push, always out-dual flame, and just continue to crush him for the rest of the game.
See if he's able to do it. And there we go, the red buff, Hermes and Lustboy going after that one, helping out Helios, and he gets grabbed. There's the death sentence. Alpha coming in. There's the exhaust. Oh, he can't get over the wall. He goes down. And first blood goes to score already. What a disaster. You need Lee Sin to have a good start. And, man, that's about the worst start possible.
Absolutely terrible for Blaze right there, but a really good setup for Mafa.
Yeah.
And this is the first time, really, that we've seen the KT Bullets play very aggressively at level 1.
They haven't done it much in the past.
They don't do this. They play very conservatively, and I like this new edge to the KT Bullets that we're seeing. It was always one of their weaknesses, that they had very passive and even bad level 1s where they would simply straight up die. And this is another disaster for CJ Blaze. They had such a hard time last game, so this game they come and they say, we'll take Caitlyn Lulu because we really just want to trade well. What happens? Score gets first blood. Score gets red buff.
And the red buff, yeah.
Pretty much the worst possible scenario.
Well, we'll wish Lustboy and Hermes the best of luck. We'll see how they do. Yeah, and it's only going to get worse once Score and Maffa go back to buy, too, with that extra gold. Helios coming in, trying to put some hurt onto Kakao. He is level 2. There we go. Helios trying to get himself a kill. Kakao very low. Flashes over the wall. Can he hit the Q? Can he Q? Ryu right there. There's a barrel. Kakao. Oh, he doesn't want to walk into it. Helios right there. Gets the kill. And he may go for the double. Helios so angry. Nope. Safeguards back to Ambition, but nearly a double kill. That'll even things out. Helios, they'll have to be content with the one.
A fantastic play there from Helios because he knew that even though he died there, even though he knew that, one, Vi didn't have the red buff, so she wasn't going to be as dangerous. He read that situation correctly, and he's got that Doran's Blade, which allows him to have those combat stats early, so he knew he could win a duel. Yeah. Really smart decision-making there from Helios to get himself back in this game.
Yeah, perfect response to that rough start. Oh, Kakao coming in, and Helios, not a lot of health. Actually, Insect right there. But Kennen, Flame playing Kennen, would have made it tough for Insect to come down, but risky business for Helios. But hey, I mean, you need to take some risks when you have a start like that, and so far it paid off quite nicely.
It did indeed. And the KT Bullets, talk a little bit about their composition. You know, they're going for those picks this time around. They have that charming battery, as you call it, with Ari and Vi combination again that we've seen become quite popular here apparently over the last week in Korea. Yeah. Starting with SK Telecom using that in the playoffs for Champion Summer. And they've got that Thresh to create the picks as well. Oh, Kakao coming in. Insect very low. Kakao needs to take care of this lane for a little bit while Insect goes back. And that is exactly what he'll do. Someone mentioned on Twitter, and I think they're right. I think Vi has like the Lysandra syndrome. She's yelling quite a bit. She does. She's very screamy. She is. A bit screamy. Of course, these Korean champions, very vocal in the game. It's better than Lysandra. Lysandra just sounds like she's going through some like stomach trouble, really. I mean, it's like, it's not, well, Insect, not the best. Insect is losing top lane. Oh, hello. Helios coming in onto Ryu there. Ryu takes some damage. There's a nice charm onto Ambition. Ryu will get away. So, yeah, what we see Flame doing up here to Insect, zoning him out very aggressively in that top lane already. So, bit of problems. Insect hasn't had a lot of help up there from Kakao, and the danger of Helios, of course, with that Doran's Blade on the ganks early. And look at that, the Smite steal. No. That's right. And Kakao's like, no thanks. I've had enough of this Lee Sin. Yeah, he knows he'd lose that duel at this point. Oh, yeah. Only has that Spirit Stone so far. Insect getting a little bit more aggressive here on Flame up in the top lane. Yeah, slicing and dicing. And Helios coming in from behind, though. Insect may be in a little bit of trouble. That slice and dice cooldown. What's it looking like right now? Is it there? Insect has to flash. And Helios, they don't quite get him low enough to finish him off, but they got the flash. Pretty good. Well, Kakao is nearly 6, and he's just going to run straight into Ambition. Yeah, Ambition going to catch him. Kakao going to do some damage and then back off. A little bit too dangerous, not knowing exactly. Although, no, he should have known where Helios is, but just didn't want to go for that duel right there. A little bit too risky. Well, there's no reason to force this right now either. You can see already the large lead developing for the KT Bullets in that bottom lane. And they know that they can ride out the storm here. They have really good engage on their side. Now, if they ever force Blaze to fight in a 5v5 situation, their engage is actually quite poor because, of course, Ken in a secondary engage, he comes in after. They really have to rely on Lee Sin to start the fight, and that's not the most reliable initiation in the world compared especially to Vi. Yeah. Now, Insect will have trouble in these team fights, though, as Kakao runs into Helios in the brush. Yeah, that's right. They're going to fight a little bit. Helios, though, on the run for now. Insect and Flame not really able to participate. And I suppose Helios on Lee Sin would be a pretty good
target as well for the wild growth. Insect slicing and dicing away. Yeah, just more lane pressure from Helios here. But the question is, will Helios be durable enough? Oh, Flay just barely misses for Mappa. Score has to get in range of that shield. There we go, taking the Lantern back. Getting a little bit of an auto attack stuck before that happens.
So, in a 5v5 though, with the KT Bullets, Renekton is a suboptimal pick against Kennen and Gragas, just because what you want on Renekton, most of his teamfight damage comes from his ultimate, that AoE magic off of Dominus. And if he's knocked out of the fight, or he can never get into the other team thanks to Slicing Maelstrom, he's just not going to do a whole lot. So the KT Bullets, they really have to rely on their picks here. They don't want to go into a straight 5v5, even though they can engage, and they probably will engage in any 5v5 fight that we have. Blaze has enough heal to really nullify one of their champions.
Yeah, very true. Right now, Insect 2 at only about half the CS of Flame. But this is nothing new. We've seen Flame outfarm people by hundreds of CS in the past on a regular basis. So
it does surprise me. Insect did go for that Elixir of Fortitude first, but he anticipating an aggressive play, anticipating perhaps an all-in against Flame, but just hasn't seen that window of opportunity. Flame, of course, a very good Kennen player. We've seen him play it many times in the past.
Oh, yeah.
We've never seen Insect play Renekton.
Not yet. Not until now. There's a box going down. They do catch Lustboy. Lustboy having to flash the ultimate for Score misses. And they're not able to pick up that kill. Helios right there, though. There's Astral Shift used.
Yeah, and with the Arcane Shift down, he's going to have a little trouble here.
Helios has to take the Lantern. Nice play from Maffa, getting his carry out of there.
Good flash from Maffa there as well to extend the range of that Lantern just a little bit and make sure that Score got out. Nice and safe.
Oh, there's a charm on Ambition over the wall. A lot of damage coming in from Ryu, but it looks like Gragas will live to drink another day, or right now. That too.
Yeah, Ryu dodging that barrel roll a little bit there in the mid lane. And across the board right now, well, we do see Insect catching up at least a little bit in the top lane in terms of CS, but Blaze going for an aggressive Dragon after they push the bullets out of lane.
Mappa walking right in. Cacao with the ultimate down onto Helios. He's very low. Mappa gets the kill. Dragon still alive. Cacao going for it. He gets the Dragon too. A huge play for KTB, chasing Hermes and Lustboy away. And Score. Can he finish off Hermes? Oh, it's so close. So close. Oh, the Mystic shot just barely misses.
And right there, another really questionable call from CJ Blaze.
Such a dangerous Dragon to go for.
Even though they had shoved Score and Mappa out of lane, they couldn't move Dragon very quickly because if we look right now, only 2 Doran's Blades down onto Hermes so far. And not only that, but Hermes and Lustboy were quite low from that trade that had just happened on their turret before Helios came and Score and Mappa got out of dodge. So
they're going to get the turret too?
There was really no way, if anyone came, that they could contest that. And so when Mappa rolled back around, and remember, Mappa was at full HP even after backing off right there, with Cacao coming in. Such a dangerous play to make early, Doa.
Oh, yeah. Well, they paid for it too. And suddenly, KTB looking pretty comfortable here. And there we go. They're going in on Insect. The Ignite's down to Slicing Maelstrom as well. Helios comes in. They try to secure the kill, and they do. The ultimate not helping out Insect. Cacao just not quite able to get there in time. And so, a little bit of revenge from the CJ side. Insect looking a little bit frustrated. I mean, when I talked to him yesterday, too, he was feeling frustrated still from those finals. Ryu now, very low, but there's the Lantern for a little bit more shielding. But you have to wonder a little bit about Insect's mental state right now.
I mean, he had a pretty good game on Shen in game 1 right there, so he managed to keep up really nicely with Flame in that match. And I just don't think that Renekton is a champion that he's too comfortable playing. So.
I would agree. I mean, it's not really his style. He can't really make those big engages with it.
Yeah, exactly. He really likes to play those champions where he can be the one jumping right into the enemy team. Slice and Dice is pretty short range. It's really a secondary engage like Kennen. And so there's just not a lot he's going to be able to do with his traditional playstyle. And not only that, but it seems to me that he doesn't really understand the limits of Renekton either, because he's not, from what we've seen of this top lane play here so far, he's letting himself get poked down, and he's not really going all in, and he was reluctant to use that Elixir of Fortitude earlier on in the game as well. So these little things make me think that Insec, not the most comfortable Renekton player in the world.
Well, it doesn't look like it yet. We'll see. KTB still looking good in the game overall, but Insec a little bit rough. Oh, there's a trap right there.
Yeah, standing on either side of it, though, just trying to set up a pick as the Vi, Ahri, pick brigade gets rolling here in Ambition.
Right there.
He checks the other side of the brush right there. Doesn't see anybody.
Yeah.
But he's playing super cautiously. He sees that trap, but knows there could still possibly be somebody in the brush.
And there definitely is. Cacao coming down as well, and they can't quite get to him in time.
Ambition using that body slam just to get a little bit further away, which foiled that gank, actually. So kind of an unintentional, solid move there from the Blaze mid laner.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing Insec start to kind of lose these duels with Kennen as well. He's only got 3 Doran's plays as opposed to haunting guys and the ability tome. And actually the cloth armor as well being quite helpful for Flame. Pretty good. Insec having a tough time in that top lane. It may not get any easier with Helios coming up. They could decide to dive this. We'll see. Could be happy just pushing out a lane. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, everyone coming in. It's a big dive. Hermes gets caught. Oh, nice. Everything going out into Hermes. No chance of getting away.
And
White did flash on the wall.
Hermes failed his flash as well right there. So
just stuff we never see.
Really lackluster play from Hermes so far today, Doa.
Well, I mean, the thing is we've actually seen 2 failed flashes in this game now because Helios failed his flash at level 1 at the very beginning, too. And I don't think I've ever seen 2 failed flashes in a game here in Korea.
I'm really surprised at the way that Blaze is playing, considering how long they've had off here to train up and get themselves prepared for this very qualifier tournament for the most important League of Legends event of the year, the World Championships.
ARAM is pretty tempting, though. You know, when you log in, you're like, well, I could play ranked, and it's like, well, I could just play ARAM, too. So maybe that's our answer. Who knows?
And now Ryu.
Probably not.
With the DFG as well. Score getting quite scary with the Trinity Force. And 15 minutes into this game, he's managed to accrue a significant CS lead. Flame matching him over Insec, though. So Flame is really Blaze's only hope at this point in this game. Flame has to continue to be dominant in his lane, but he's not able to take that turret because even though Insec is behind on CS, he is still managing to prevent his tower from going down.
Yeah, and he's starting to get some decent items as well, too. He's finally picked up that Phage. So his dueling potential is only going to get better as the game goes on, obviously.
Well, you know, he's not really that far behind because he did get the dragon and turret gold.
Very true,
so
2 turrets and a dragon. That's a lot of gold.
We're actually seeing very similar gold totals for both of these top laners in spite of that CS deficit. So
right.
The fact that he's been holding while the rest of his team have been making plays around the map. It's been a pretty nice job by him.
Oh, there we go. The flash play onto Hermes. Hermes caught under tower. The death sentence misses, but everything Ryu throws at him doesn't. And that's another kill on Hermes. Hermes just really getting picked on now. 2 deaths in like the last 2 minutes under turret. And they're going to lose this turret too.
And right here, Doa, Blaze knows they're facing a pick comp.
Yeah.
There is no question with Thresh, Ahri, Ezreal, and Vi that they want to come pick you off. There are no wards right now inside that lower jungle. Now, they didn't see anybody on the mini-map right there. The vision control on that lower side around the red camp going over to the bullets. One would think they might play a little more cautiously or at least try and regain the vision control.
It's tough to say, and here we go. Dominus popped actually for Insec, and CJ needs to back off, and that's actually fine. They got the dragon. Didn't need any kills out of that. Just needed Insec to survive. Needed to keep that turret up. They did it.
They did indeed.
Yeah, so I mean, all the CS deficit for Insec, like we mentioned earlier, with all those global objectives, he's got probably a very similar amount of gold that Flames had overall.
And he'll be picking up a Trinity Force as well. It's just Trinity Force madness here.
It's new Black Cleaver, man. It's Trinity Fever.
Trinity Fever.
Cleaver Fever was much more, it rolled off the tongue a bit better, but I don't know. We'll find a name for it.
Well, Score rotating up to that top lane right now. They're just trying to get this last outer turret down. And once you lose that last outer turret against Valiant Ari, things get really scary for CJ Blaze, because the map pressure going to be immense coming from all these lanes. And not only that, oh, wow.
Ooh, man.
Very close to setting up the pick right there with Death Sentence and Assault and Battery.
Yeah, that would have been
pretty careful, and they're waiting here for Ryu to get over.
And when he gets here, it's going to be dangerous for CJ Blaze. Helios and Hermes there in that bot lane. Insect coming out. He's actually going to jump on. Oh, Flame gets onto Ryu, but Ryu just too much damage with that DFG Ignite, not enough to poke it down.
And actually right there, Ari, right after Flame died, she got her passive up and spell vamped off the creeps. That's why she Spirit Rushed in.
Oh, beautiful. Kakao coming in on Ambition. They do catch Lust Boy under turret. There's the box. They don't want to let him get away. Flashes over the wall of the box, but Score says no. Arcane Shift for the win, and Kakao gets out. Wow.
Well, the pushing pressure not stopping right now.
Not at all.
So, Insect, they were not able to remove him at all from that bottom lane. And we see the turrets just continuing to fall for Blaze. Just nothing has gone right from that level 1 kill, really, for Helios.
Oh, Score takes the Lantern,
Nice juke there from Mafa. No, we haven't seen a lot of Thresh play from Mafa.
Not so much, no, but he's
been pretty solid so far.
Thresh is the Lee Sin of supports in Korea. You need to know how to play Thresh if you're going to play support in Korea at this point. I would say you need to know how to play Thresh if you're going to play support in any region right now. He's so good.
Yeah, he's incredibly strong, so versatile, has that heal, has that playmaking pick potential as well. He can really do it all.
Yeah. Totally true. All right, so CJ Blaze. And what can they really do at this point? I mean, what's their hope for winning this game? Monte Cristo just shakes his head sadly.
I'm trying to come up with something, Doa, but I'm grasping at straws.
I have to give the play-by-play for Monty sometimes, too, if he doesn't say anything and just makes, physical motions.
It's true.
Oh, two-shot barrage, not quite there for Score yet. And, I mean, it's at that point, and there's a poke from Score as well. Everybody collapsing in now. It's at that point where it really feels like CJ is going to need to, or KG Bullets rather, are going to need to make some pretty significant errors in their play to really give CJ a chance to come back in this game.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where we talked about this earlier. CJ Blaze, they picked champions because they wanted to win lane very badly.
Right.
That's why we saw the Doran's Blade start on Lee Sin. That's why we're seeing the Caitlyn and Lulu lane when Lulu is suboptimal in this composition for team fighting. So, because they don't have that big initiator to pop that nice wild growth on, and it's difficult to use wild growth when you have a Grog Assault, because it's just
it separates everybody that you want together,
and it makes it too hard to team fight. Yes, you can hit a nice combo. Yes, you can go wild growth into the Grog Assault, but you don't want to rely on that every single team fight.
Yeah.
Because you're not always going to get it. It's not consistent. It's not a consistent way to team fight. So.
Man, and Lust Boy, I mean, look at his items right now. This is what happens when you get behind. You just have to keep buying tons of wards just to get any sort of vision back in your own jungle, and then you just don't get any items. And I mean, supports don't need a lot of items, but generally you want more than that Sightstone. And there again, buying that Oracles, as we can see. So all of his gold going right now to just try to desperately get back any semblance of map control.
Well, that's exactly what they have to do, because they have to stop these picks from coming in, but with Mafa there with his own oracles and the number of wards already on the map, the sweep for wards is going to take Lust Boy quite some time, and I don't even think he's going to be able to keep up 1-to-1. Ryu standing right smack dab on a ward.
And will they be able to do anything about it? Everyone from CJ has a chance to come in. Flame does have Slicing Maelstrom available, playing it cool, but see everybody else waiting just outside of vision. There we go, Slicing Maelstrom in immediately. The Spirit Rush, Flash, there's the charm, a great escape from Ryu.
Ryu with an incredibly clean disengage, and because they tried to get that pick, guess what? Nobody defending the turret in mid lane. Insect bullying out Helios because they dedicated so many resources to killing Ryu right there, to stopping the split push, to stopping the pressure, to eliminating a lot of that very dangerous pick potential in their own jungle, but it's also going to cost them there.
Yep. KT grabbing another one. And again, that Vi helping so much that Baron is dying very, very quickly. Again, with the Trinity Force as well on score. KT is so good at finding ways to kill Baron quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, you can tell Hermes, too, he's going for this Bloodthirster build on Caitlyn, but we're 23 minutes into this game, and that's all he has.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to Score, who's closing in on that last Whisper, or maybe an Infinity Edge next. We'll have to see what he manages to pick up on his next return to the shop, but this game just spiraled out of control from that level 1. Score and Mafa.
And there's the surrender. They're actually just going to surrender 22 minutes. Yeah, that is it. Blaze. Wow. Man, that was one of their faces. Look at Helios there.
That was one of the earliest surrenders that we've seen. No pressure put on. I think that says so much about Blaze's mental state right now.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, what is going on in that team house to have so much time to prepare?
And so much talent.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, like, we know these guys are great players. What is going on with CJ right now?
This is bizarre. I don't really know what to say tonight. And
it's like somebody has like that basketball from Space Jam, and he gave it to everybody in the CJ house, and they all touched it and got their powers, their skills sucked out. Somewhere, somebody's about to make a great League of Legends team with that basketball.
It's actually a mouse.
It's a mouse in this case, yeah. But I would say a basketball, they should use that because it would be less conspicuous.
Oh, I see.
Never a suspicious mouse, that'd be way, way more likely to get the interest of it. But.
Well, the KT Bullets continue their streak of absolutely rolling Blaze.
It's history, guys. And so, KT Bullets 1 game away from moving on to the second round of the Gauntlet, facing the sister team. And I don't know what to say. This is a bit surprising. It's a bit. The surprising part is that it continues to happen,
especially because we went to Game 5 in the quarters and we had that very even series, but we're just not seeing that here tonight.
Not really. Another victory for KT Bullets, a fairly easy victory, and that really did. I mean, that surrender, they didn't have a lot of. Well, enough of that. We'll talk about it when we come back, guys.